So a few weeks ago we had the cherries blossoming and now we've got fruit on them, so I'm going to have to start covering them up so that the birds don't eat them. And then we've got lots of salads, which I'll talk you through the different varieties that I'm growing this year. And I'm going to be clearing the plot of last year's harvest and doing some mulching and some weeding. And I need to organise where I'm going to put these.
Hello everyone and welcome back again. I'm Karen, otherwise known as Wellies and Waffles, and I show you how to grow your own fruit and veg. Now in this episode I've got so much to show you because there's so much going on right now. I need to clear the plot of last year's produce. I've still got broccoli that I've left to flower for the insects. And melons, I'm going to be repotting the melons as well because they're doing really well. Some of them, one of them I put in a larger pot and the others I just kept in a 9cm pot, so yeah, the difference in them is just amazing. So I need to show you those and repot all the rest of them. Showing you all the salads as well. I've got some really good salad leaves growing, so I'll show you those. And honestly, I could supply Lancashire with salads. I'll be forcing it on passers-by. I've got that much growth, like 250. Squash, I need to pot on some of the squash as well, which is doing well. Some of them I have planted, but I still need to organise that space. Celery is still growing there, so I'm just going to leave it because I've done a bit of an overwinter experiment with the pink celery. Loads going on, so let's go and get cracking. So I'm going into the veg patch now. I've left everything outside for probably about a week now, overnight, and they've been doing really well. So everything's in there, just ready for planting out really. Right, so I'll talk you through what salad I've grown here. Now these are stridolo, which I've tried germinating before and they didn't really do anything, but now they've just gone berserk. So I've got quite a lot of stridolo, which is similar to a tarragon really, so we've got those. Plenty to do with those. And then we've got freckles, which I grow every year, which is a lovely lettuce. Really nice patterns on the leaf. Dark Roden. Again, lovely lettuce there. And then we've got the Mizuna, which is a mustard green. Nice and spicy kick to those. Again, more Dark Roden there. We've got the mustard red lace. We've got Mizuna red streaked. And right at the end, we've got Radicchio there. And this one was supposed to be an old seed, it is, but Ice Queen, but it seems to be a weed. We should get everywhere, don't we? Here we have Tom Thumb, which is really nice, about 6-inch, lovely little lettuce, so great for containers, small spaces, or anywhere really. You can just pop them in where you've got a space in your garden. So those are really nice. And then we've got Tatsoi, and at the end we've got some little gem lettuce, which I've got some more here as well. So I've done quite a few of those because I do eat quite a bit of salad. Here we have the Saladin iceberg lettuce. I do like a bit of iceberg, so I've gone and sown a load of those and they're doing really nicely, but again, I need to get them in the pot. We've got Winter Density and Marvel of Four Seasons hiding down here somewhere. Obviously when I move these I'll get a bit more light to them. And then we've got Mizuna red streaked again there, which are ready to be eaten. We'll start harvesting those. They're looking lovely in the sunshine, aren't they? Look at that. I'm really pleased with them. Those leaves are gorgeous. Look at the leaves. And here are the courgettes. Looking lovely, but obviously once you start putting them out, you start getting things wanting to eat them. So something's had a bit of a nibble. It's been on the floor there, something's had a bit of a chomp on that. But I think we're looking like we're getting some flowers starting to develop there. These really need to go in the plot, so I'll be doing these over the next few days as well. And the beans, again, really trying to stretch up and wanting to grow up. So as you can see, I've got these bean supports here. I'm going to be moving these two over this side because I grew beans on that side this year and I like to move the veg around, so I'm going to put those a bit of a crop rotation. So I'm going to put them over here and grow them up there. These are a Cossi Violet and they're a purple climbing bean. They've done well for me before, so I've got quite a few of those to plant out. And I've got some somewhere else, over here. Over here, looking at slightly yellow on here, so obviously they're only in a tiny little cell, so they need moving out. I think we've got Isabel, which is a green climbing bean. I've got purple TP, which is obviously a purple bean, but it's a dwarf one, so they can go in between other plants as and when there's space. And we've got blue lake bean as well. That'd be a nice one. And yard long bean. So I desperately need to get all these in because they are, like I say, in tiny little cells there. So we'll get them all planted. So I thought I'd give you a bit of an update on the vegetable patch. So obviously, as you can see, I need to clear this area of last year's crops. So we have, which has gone a bit wayward, the scarlet curly kale there, which I've left to flower. I'm going to harvest these as well and eat those. You can obviously eat the flowers as well. And then we have, look at all this. It's beautiful, isn't it? So I left a few of the purple sprouting broccoli to flower so that the bees and other insects can enjoy them. And there's just a mass of yellow flowers. They're just absolutely gorgeous. So I've been buzzing around these, which they will do later on when they've all walked up. Somebody there. When they've all woken up. So I need to pull those out. Now the pink peppermint celery, I can't see the colour because it's in the shade, but it's absolutely beautiful colour. This I planted out last year, grown from seed, planted out, overwintered, not done anything with it over winter, just left it, and it's growing back. So I'm going to leave it, see how well it does. I'm going to leave that. It smells lovely if you like celery. One under here that's been in the shade is just shot right up. And this one here, it's shot right up as well, but I'm really surprised with that. Like I say, it's going, regrowing. So I'm going to leave that in there. Beautiful leaves with the squeak of the Cavolo Nero. That's still looking great, isn't it? Obviously we've got a sticky willy or a cleaver, as it's otherwise known. I'm trying to crawl up there, they get everywhere, don't they? Look at those leaves, they're really nice, aren't they? I'm just going to put these in the compost. You can actually use the leaves, so I'm going to pull these off and use them in a stir fry. And then just compost the rest. You can use the, like I say, you can use the flowers in salads, things like that, and stir fries as well. So still edible. So I've got kale and the celery left there, which some of the celery might pull up because it looks like it's bolting a bit, but that looks okay, so I'm going to leave that one, I think. The rest of it I'm just planning now on what I'm going to plant where. The beans were there last year, but what I'm thinking of is, obviously every year I move things around so I don't plant the same thing in the same spot. So the beans are probably going on the other side over here, maybe at the back there. And because this is a shady area here because of the fruit trees, I'm going to plant the because this is a shady area because of the fruit trees there, I'm going to plant the lettuces and salads down here because I don't tend to like a lot of sun. Last year I put them down this side, not last year, the year before I put them down this side and they were absolutely fine. I think I might have done a few down here as well. A little pinky out. So yeah, I'm going to put them there. Beans on that side, peas maybe at the back. Here probably in the middle the courgettes.
Now we've got the nightmare of weeds at the edge of the plot, which are harder work to get to because you can't just dig them straight up with the wood bee in there. So I'm trying to pull out the buttercups and the dandelions. Dandelions are quite deep rooted, so you really need to get deep and get them all out. With the nettles, you cut the leaves off and you can use them as a nettle fertiliser. Just steep them in water for a few months and they're really good at feeding your plants. Now they're really hard work to get up a nettles because they do have a long root system, and they're quite tough as well, so you really need to try and get as much of the root out as possible, which can go on for meters really. And it's like you can see here, it just snaps off. Obviously with the wood being in the way, it's a little more difficult to get them all up, but just try and get up as much as you can do.
So I've talked before about nettles and how you can use them in cooking and things like that, but obviously you've got to watch out for the sting on them. So let me just have a... I'm only joking. There's no sting to these ones. These are white dead nettles and you can tell with the white flowers on them like that, and they've absolutely no sting whatsoever. So before I put the mulch down, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to haul off the ground. As you can see, I've done a little bit anyway, but there's still little fine weeds. Now what I do is I do it on a dry day, and then it just pulls up all the weeds, and then they just dry out and die. So I've got my pot full of weeds now, and I'm going to take it to the other side of the garden, put it in the great big compost pile that I've got there, and then that will rot down. And then I'm going to put some mulch. I've got a few bags of mulch. I'm going to put that on. In fact, I'll just show you what it's like. So the mulch that I've got is really fine, which is perfect for going over the top of your compost, your topsoil. Sometimes when you get your mulch it can be really heavy with bark chippings, but this is really fine, so I'm going to put this all over the veggie plot, and that will give all the vegetables a good start. So it's really nice and fine, as you can see, loads of goodness in there. You know, no thick heavy bark chippings, so it's absolutely brilliant for your soil. I'm just going to repot this squash, which is the Muscade de Provence. Looking lovely and healthy. All the roots there, so I'm going to plant them in a larger pot like this one here, because they were in these little trays, and obviously, you know, they need repotting now. It's getting quite big. So what I'll do is pop it in that. It's a good size, and then just some compost around it. But I am going to be planting them here. As you can see, I've already planted two, which are the Queensland Blue. And we'll be planting them all in here quite soon anyway, so they won't be in the pots very long. Here are some of the melons now. I wanted to show you this because this one, as you can see, is a lot larger. Now what I've done is I've got a few of these, and I've repotted them into these 9cm pots. But what I did is I repotted one of them into this larger one. Now it's only a little bit larger, as you can see, but the difference that it's made is massive. You know, it's grown far bigger than this. Now if I just show you, what it's, you know, there's not too many roots going on in there, but obviously it has stunted its growth, so I'm going to be repotting that into a larger pot here, and hopefully it'll catch up with this one. This one here is really trying already. Look, I've got flowers on it. So I'm going to have to repot that now. So we'll give them a quick drink. And I've just checked on this one and the roots are starting to come out of this one actually, so I'm going to have to get a bigger pot and put that in. Let's see how that does. We're going on a slug hunt and snail hunt. There tends to be more snails, and they all like to gather around the edge of the polytunnel. So what I've done is I've just trampled down these nettles because they were quite high, and then you can see them all hiding down here and also on the other side as well along the edges. So put together them up. I'm going to take them to the other side of the garden. Oh, spider on there as well, trying to eat them. So I climb on the snail. So I don't like to do them any harm. They have a nightmare, aren't they? Really, I need to sort out this hedging because it's collapsing a little bit there, as you can see. But I've got other jobs to do, so at the moment, I see a right big one hiding down there, look. I'm going to be getting stung by nettles, aren't I? Just come back home. Just trying to get that then, and it's a dandelion. Right, come over there. Makes it hard with this collapse because they're hiding underneath. That's so many. This is why my veg gets eaten. Look, so I've got a little baby there. Scoop you up. So good, there's loads, isn't there? There. Let's just pick him up. Oh no. Stretch over, make a noise. Alright, got a little one there. Baby one there. In he goes. Got quite a few already. So I've just gone down here 30 foot and look at them all, and they're trying to escape already, so I'm going to have to put these at the other side of the garden. Right, let's go. Go into the flowers. So I'm just going to put them down here and they can crawl away. Right, I think we're done. So that's it for this week. Thank you very much for watching. Next week I'm going to try and do 2 episodes, one at the beginning of the week, one at the end, because I've got so much footage and so much going on in the garden that I want to show you, so I'll try and do 2 for you. So thank you again for watching. Again, if you haven't subscribed, please do so, and I shall see you next week. Thank you, bye.